And good morning. It's 7:03 on this Tuesday, September 8th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody. What a wonderful weekend and what a wonderful day we've got going today. A terrific Tuesday, if you will. We're glad to have you with us. Hope you had a good Labor Day weekend. I certainly did. The sun is shining today. It's beautiful out there. And we get started here on the Tuesday that's going to seem like a Monday, perhaps. It's all made possible by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, now serving you and your patients in Wilson County. Vanderbilt's Ingram Cancer Center at Wilson County Radiation Oncology Services. The goal is to be your trusted partner in providing quality, convenient cancer care for your patients. And Vanderbilt Ingram has helped launch treatments through clinical trials that have become new standards for cancer care, including targeted therapies and immunotherapies. And right now they're excited to better serve people in Wilson County and the surrounding area with a closer and more convenient location with cancer care. And it's more than a clinic, it's a full-fledged, multidisciplinary Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center location right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. Besides being staffed by highly regarded cancer specialists committed to providing superior and compassionate care, the center is also equipped with the latest treatment technologies. A nationally renowned cancer center, experienced on-staff board-certified radiation oncologist, the latest and most advanced radiation technology. The Linear Accelerator features the Ethos radiotherapy system, which was just recently approved by the FDA and is the fourth one installed in the country. Pinpoint precision. The technology allows every treatment to be personalized and delivered accurately. Real-time information accommodates for any changes in anatomy or tumor shape and location. For patients, this means precise treatment every time, resulting in better outcomes, less side effects, and shorter treatment times. And there's treatment of all types of cancers, from common to the most complex cases. They treat a wide array of patients, including those with comorbidities. Hope I got that one right. The highest quality protocol and technology in the industry. It provides safe and effective radiation treatment managed by highly skilled radiation therapists and medical physicists. Convenient, real-time access to clinical data for patients through Vanderbilt Health Connect. And you can visit vanderbilthealthconnect.com or contact the Physician Outreach and Connections Department, 615-936-6500. Board-certified radiation oncologist now at Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, a part of the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center right here in Wilson County. And with that, let me introduce the city manager for the city of Mount Juliet, Mr. Kenny Martin, who is on the phone with us this morning. Kenny, good morning.
Good morning there, Coleman. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing fine. I tell you, we better start over again. All right, say good morning again.
Good morning. Can you hear me okay?
Okay. Yeah, the master gain wasn't turned up. Somebody turned that down over the weekend. That's the only thing I forgot to check this morning. But you're coming in loud and clear now, and good to have you with us.
Well, thank you for having me, and I sure do miss you and MJ and Billy. Ever since this COVID hit, we've been doing the social distancing by about 30 miles, you and I, and I miss seeing y'all in person, but I know we're doing the right thing.
Well, what's the latest from Mount Juliet? A good Labor Day, I hope.
It was an absolutely beautiful weekend here, pretty much non-eventful, which is great news. I enjoyed a couple of days working in the yard and didn't really get away much more than that, but we had a beautiful week here in Mount Juliet.
Well, if you look at the calendar, we always have you scheduled for the second and fourth Tuesdays, and the way the calendar falls this month is not going to coincide with your meetings, but we have arranged for you to you will have a meeting on the 28th, and for somebody to be here on the 29th rather than the 22nd, and I reminded you of that the other day. So we'll have somebody after one of your meetings, but not the first one here. But anything exciting happened in your last meetings or in the one that is scheduled next Monday night?
Hey, it did, Coleman. First and foremost, I was going to mention this coming Friday, which is, I believe that's right, 9/11 this Friday. I've been asked by Mayor Jennings of Watertown to be a speaker at an event they have annually. It's their 9/11 memorial speech, and so I want to thank them for inviting me out. I think I speak at like 11:45, so appreciate everything that Mayor Jennings does in the great city of Watertown there, and really looking forward to that. I'm honored by that tremendously.
And that will be in Watertown then. It's Watertown's memorial, is that right?
Yes, sir, and
Okay.
it's at their pavilion there. They've got a pavilion just off the square and also right near the rail line. So I'm looking forward to that. I was really blown away by being invited to that, and want to thank him and his fine residents there in his community. But, yeah, we've got a lot going on in Mount Juliet. You're right. We're a little off with our meetings and everything because of the 5-week month, but a whole lot of exciting things going on. One of the first things that we'll have, I refer to it as a second reading, is at our last meeting, the city voted to purchase 2 pieces of land. One piece is a little over 8 acres, and the other piece is a little over 21 acres, and 2 different parts of Mount Juliet for additional parkland.
Well, I know that's exciting, especially to those who want more recreational activities and more parkland.
It is, and in the city parks director and of course their parks board, and also they've got a land search committee that's been working really hard to bring up potential pieces of land across the city. And there's some other pieces that's under consideration right now as well, but these 2 have risen to the top, and the Board of Commissioners get opportunity at our next meeting, which is this coming Monday, to vote second reading if they decide to pursue those 2 pieces of property. If they do, then we'll purchase those 2 pieces and then still consider other pieces. But I'm excited about any time we can expand the recreational opportunities for people to get out and enjoy the outdoors and just sort of recharge their batteries. We're excited about that. This is the first time in some time we've considered actually purchasing property. We've had some properties that we've had donated over the last few years and expanded our parks programs that way in our greenways. But this is the first real large, I guess you'd say, tracts of land that we've looked at buying for parks. So
All right.
we're excited about that.
Let me ask you this. Sometimes a first reading is just a just a time to get it to the second reading, which really counts. Other times, both are pretty much formalities, and it's already decided ahead of time. How do you feel about this? Was this unanimous? Is everybody probably going along with this idea?
It was 4-0 at the last vote, and it was with one abstaining. And then you never know. I mean, basically what I was directed to do via resolution was to negotiate the purchase of the properties, and if then I'll bring back the contracts, and then the commission will vote on the contract. So it's possible that things, minds could change between the last meeting and the upcoming meeting, to where they would just decide to pass on the properties for whatever reason through contract language and things of that nature. But you just never know. I mean, I've seen situations where it was 4-0 at one meeting, and next meeting it was 0-4 or 5-0. So.
You don't second guess the council, do you?
That's right. I'll leave that up to them. I basically just follow their directive to through the resolution, and we do a lot of work between meetings. I'll do appraisals and phase 1 environmentals and things of that nature. And once we get all the contracts written up, that's what I'll make as part of the purchase ordinance through the contract. So I'll have all that ready hopefully by Monday for them to consider. And if they don't, if something changes and they decide against those properties, then we'll have other proposals for them to consider going forward. But excited about that. That's one of the big things. Another thing we're excited about is hopefully October we'll be starting the bridge widening at I-40 and Mount Juliet Road. The commission, along with the state, have worked hard in partnership together on that. And we're right on the cusp of breaking ground to add that additional lane to the bridge. And that'll be a major upgrade for us because right now, if anybody's familiar with coming from Providence going towards City Hall, there's 2 lanes, but one of them converts to a turning lane as you go northbound on the bridge. So now we'll have 2 northbound lanes, 2 southbound lanes, and then I believe 2 turning lanes. So that'll help a lot with ingress, egress, and crossing the interstate there to get to Providence and from one side of the city to the other.
That's quite an undertaking, really, in due to the fact that there's so much traffic there now, and the construction is going to impede that to some extent. I hope you've got it figured out where it won't be snarling traffic jam.
You're exactly right, and we've been advised by the state and the contractor that when they do the bridge widening, there'll be no reduction in lanes. So basically what they'll do, they'll build the new lane first, the new addition to the bridge. Once that's finished, then they'll shift lanes over. But what took the most time with a project like this is you've got to get federal approval, you get state approval, then you got to do all your work, your engineering, your design, your environmental, and right-of-way acquisition actually ended up being the hardest part, which that's where you have to purchase various properties or right-of-ways from individuals. And it just takes a while to get those things worked out, but really proud of our city and proud of our engineering department at Public Works for getting it to this point. So we're ready to go. We've got all that accomplished, and now it's just a matter of starting the construction. And so really looking forward to that, and I know that our residents or visitors will be looking forward to it as well.
Okay, Kenny Martin, City Manager for City of Mount Juliet, is with us today. We're going to take a break here, and more coming up on Coleman & Company, FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:14. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Bates Ford, and they've got that regular oil change, only $24.95, up to 5 quarts of oil, tax and disposal. 1673 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Watching traffic build out here in the normal spots. Watch out. There's still some THP units out here running some radar in certain areas. Working a wreck right now, Trousdale Drive at Harding Place. It's really starting to build 24 coming through Jolta. Celebrate autumn at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest. It starts September 25th through November 1st. All the details at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing has experienced new leadership and a new atmosphere. Same location in the heart of Lebanon, 731 Castle Heights Court on the Castle Heights campus. Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing is providing 5-star clinical outcomes to short-term and long-term care residents. Call 615-444-4319 for a tour and to experience the new culture. Renewal happens here at Lebanon Center for Rehabilitation and Healing.
That's good. WANT is proud to announce the return of the Fakes and Hooker Scoreboard Show. Every Friday night, we will bring you local scores and interviews with Wilson County coaches directly after the LHS football game. The 2020 Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Burdine Supply, Designers Carpet, Kitty Salas and the hometown team of Keller Williams, Lebanon Appliance, Minchie's Landscape, Palometto's Insurance, and Sammy B's Restaurant. That's every Friday night after the LHS football broadcast, right here on WANT 98.9, Wilson County's own radio.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us here on this Tuesday morning. Our program presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. And on the phone we have City Manager Kenny Martin, City of Mount Juliet. We've talked about your parks resolution coming up at your next meeting for a second reading, and about the widening of the bridge over I-40. What else is going on or going to be on the meeting, or things we need to talk about this morning?
Well, there's several other things, Coleman. I'm really proud of our elected body and our, of course, staff and citizens. A couple other things that we're doing is they'll be starting a new fire station probably by toward the end of the year. We got that going out for bids. That'll be on the north side down by the new Green Hill High School. It'll be a brand new state-of-the-art fire station. So really excited about that. It's been in the planning stages for a long time, so it's about to come to fruition, and really, really excited about that.
That's, I feel sure, and especially those in Commissioner Justice's district who maybe have had to wait a little bit longer for fire service, that they're all excited about this and feel like finally it's coming around for us.
Absolutely, and it was a great partnership with the school system, so I'd like to thank Mickey Hall and Dr. Wright and the school board. We partnered with them and purchased that property from the school system, so not only will it make Mount Juliet safer, but it'll also be a great addition to have right there nearby the high school, because not only is it fire, but it's EMS and, emergency services as well. So just really excited about that, and, even more excited about the fact that the City Commission has voted to buy a new fire pumper truck, which is a great addition. We've got Quints and ladder trucks and things of that nature, but this is a little smaller version of a fire truck. So we just recently purchased one of those. We don't have it in yet, but it'll be coming in real soon, and we'll utilize that in other stations until the new station is built, and then it'll transition into one of those, either the new station or one of the other stations, and we'll shift the trucks around. But just really exciting that our elected body just continues to look for what is our number one priority, which is public safety, and to get brand new, basically $240,000 fire truck and a brand new fire station in our city is a huge step for us, and we're just really excited and proud.
Yeah, I've talked with Chief Dow here, City of Lebanon, about fire truck, and if you're getting out for $250,000, you're not spending as much. Of course, I don't think it's as big a truck as they bought.
That's exactly right. And Chief Dow, he's class act. I mean, the Lebanon Fire Department, they're a big help to us in so many different ways. We have a great relationship with them, and I know him personally, and he's a wonderful man, and they do a wonderful job. And with that in mind, I want to give them and our public works departments, our police departments, our parks departments, our fire departments, you name it, WEMA. We had our 6-month anniversary just last week for the tornadoes that struck our community and impacted them in a majorly negative way. And it's just hard to believe it's been 6 months, because you can drive around our community and you still see some remnants. But to think that just 6 months later, this community would have done the job it did, and picking up and moving forward from that is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, it just blows me away every time I think about it, that it's been 6 months. And I remember standing in the road at 2 o'clock on Mount Jewett Road in front of Mount Jewett Middle School, and it was just, devastation everywhere that you could look. And I can't thank those people enough. Of course, the first responders, but then when you start thinking about the volunteers and the citizens and public works and electric companies and gas companies, just all the many people that have to come together for something like that to work out in your public works department. Everybody working in unison. And I've got a lot of work to do in the future, because I've got a lot of cities I've got to drive to, and thank their elected bodies for sending folks to help us in our communities. Mm-hmm. I mean, no less than probably 6 or 7 different cities I need to go out to, if we can get through this pandemic, and thank them personally, in person.
Kenny, let me ask you this. It's been about 6 months here, and are you 90%, 95% recovered now, would you say?
Yes, sir, I'd say so, probably 90 to 95%. Unfortunately, some of the lag with some of the rebuilding has been as a result of the insurance, and that's not a knock on insurance companies in general. It's just there's so many details that have to be worked out. For example, Stoner Creek Elementary, West Wilson Middle School, and then a lot of the businesses that were there on Mount Jewett Road, some of those have been held up by insurance issues, and then others have been held up, some of the businesses, because they've yet to decide what they want to build, or if they're going to go back with something, same square footage as they had before, or something bigger. So some of those are still in the planning stages, and I know the school system's been working extra hard to get those schools rebuilt, but unfortunately when you're dealing with something of that scale, it's just hard to get all the details worked out. But I know they're working hard, and we're proud of them, and we'll help them in every way we can to expedite the process once they're able to start demo and rebuilding.
How many, if you have any idea here, share this with us, how many that were destroyed where they couldn't operate have decided not to come back, will just stay out of business? Are there many, or a few of them maybe? I guess it's surely a few.
Oddly enough, in this particular situation for us, there was only probably about, 10 businesses along Mount Jewett Road, and they've either all relocated or are going to come back and rebuild in the same location.
Wow.
The majority, of course, had to relocate to other locations, and as a result, they may not be coming back to that same location, but I'd say probably 50% of them will. But every one of them is coming back to be in business. And, of course, all the homes, there was better than 300 homes, I believe it was, that was damaged or destroyed. There's some that, chose, of course, to relocate to another location, and then sold their lots and going to let somebody else rebuild a house there. There was one situation in particular where a little boy thankfully survived, but they chose not to move back into the new house that's going to be built on the property because it was so traumatic for them, especially the little boy who was literally sucked out of the window as a result of the tornado and just couldn't see going back to that same home, even though it was going to be a new home. Thankfully, he survived with only injuries, but you get to hearing these stories after tornadoes, and you I was looking back at some pictures, oddly enough, just yesterday that I'd taken around town, and the devastation. It's just unbelievable. Never seen anything like that at all ever in my lifetime, much less in our city. So, just very proud of our citizens, and still more in the tragic loss of those 3 residents that lost their lives here in Wilson County.
Well, I had a follow-up question. Now it's kind of slipped me, but well, I know what I was going to ask about COVID. How has COVID really affected city and its employees? Have you had many people that have tested positive that are part of the Mount Juliet city government?
Yes, sir. Not as many as you would think for as much work and face-to-face work as they have to do with one another and other folks serving citizens, but probably maybe less than 10. Mm-hmm. And of course, each time you've got somebody that comes down or associated with somebody else, we have different protocols in place to where quarantines and things of that nature. But it has been an impact for us. But our folks, a lot of things we did at City Hall, for example, we just put all new HVAC units in City Hall and several other buildings. And while we're at it, we put these what's referred to as, we're trying to do everything we can to make the environment safe, not only for our employees, but for those that visit our facilities. But they're basically called air scrubbers. Uh-huh. And they're basically supposed to help clean the air and take out germs and things of that nature, and sanitizing stations and gloves and masks and plastic barrier walls and things of that nature. And our staff's really worked hard along with our citizens to make for a safer environment. So we've been very, very fortunate through this process, and I think it's just as a result of people doing a really good job. We got to help one another. I know it's inconvenient. I know everybody's got different perceptions about this entire process, but we just got to do the best we can, and I think we have been doing that, and I think as a result we haven't had a huge impact, thankfully. But, we continue to pray for those that have, and unfortunately for the many folks, I think it's nearly 180,000 now that's lost their lives. And so I want to cover one other thing that I forgot to add when we were talking about it, sort of blew through it, but also proud of our city elected body and our police department and our fire department is that the city's going to be doing about a $1.5 million addition to our police station, and that also includes our dispatch, which dispatches for police and fire. After the tornadoes, you get to thinking about your structure that your police department, your fire departments are in. You say, what if it had struck the police station? What would have happened to our records department, our evidence department, and also our dispatch? And I know the chiefs have talked about this probably to you in the past, but we'll be going out for bids here soon to add what's called hardened dispatch. Mm-hmm. And the addition will also include room for evidence and records so that, God forbid we ever have another tornado that strikes our community. If it should hit the police station, that part would still be there so that they can continue to operate.
Well, I'm glad you threw that in. You usually have some new businesses that are locating to Mount Juliet, and I don't think the list has been hardly as long for the last 6 months, but still there's relocation taking place.
There is, yes, sir, absolutely. The Christmas store, they decided not to open this year, so they're sort of just delaying their opening, and they're not rushing their build out as much. But the Christmas store is under construction. They should probably be open hopefully by April of next year. There's new Dunkin' Donuts going right nearby on that same development. There's also a place called Jeremiah's. If you remember when you were just a kid then, I think, Coleman, but there's a song called Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. Mascot, and it's a place called Jeremiah's, and they do frozen desserts and ice creams and things of that nature. They'll be going right there by the Dunkin' close to the Christmas store. And then we've got a new Taco Bell coming in. We've got a place called Hibachi Jr., and if you're not familiar with that, it's a lot like a Panda Express. It'll be going on the north side of the city. We've got $3 general stores coming in. We had a Slotsky's just open, and we've got an ML Rose that'll be going in the location where Logan's used to be. If folks are familiar with that, it's over in the province here. Yeah. We're also working with a new car dealer. We've got a new dual-brand hotel that's under construction, and I'm sure there's a few other things that I'm leaving out here. And we're also working with a new car dealer for a potential new high-end car dealer from Mount Juliet. So we're still seeing a lot of activity. There's some business I didn't include in that. I know there's a Subway, And there's also a place called Bubba Coos. That's Bubba, common spelling, Koos. And that's a new restaurant that's going in beside the Exxon station. And pretty excited about that. It's a lot like, for people wondering what it's like, you can check their website. It's a lot like a Chipotle restaurant.
I'll tell you what, it seems like if one leaves, there's another one comes to take its place. You got it made in Mount Juliet.
That's exactly right. And Lebanon's doing really well, and I think it's, it's the second wealthiest county in the state. We're blessed, and of course, there's a lot of people come from other states to move to our communities now, and so you're exactly right. When one business goes out, even with the pandemic and COVID, we're doing everything we can to hustle up a new business. Sometimes they beat us to the punch, so it's a big blessing to live in such a great community, but you know what? That goes to a lot of hard work from not only the staffs and everybody in these communities with these businesses, but it goes to our citizens, and that speaks volumes. We have an absolutely wonderful county, and I couldn't be any prouder, and I want to be a part of that for a long time to make it better. And our motto in Mount Juliet is to make today better than yesterday and tomorrow better than today.
Yeah. That's a good one. We're out of time. I want to thank you for being with us this morning. We always appreciate it, and you'll be back in 3 weeks on the 29th. Somebody will be here to talk about City of Mount Jude at that time. So keep us informed and keep on keeping on. Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, Coleman.
All right. That is part one of Coleman and Company, and it is presented by Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital, now serving you and patients in Wilson County with the Vanderbilt Ingram Cancer Center Radiation Oncology Services. Stay with us for more here on FM 98.9.
And it's now 7:29. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank our friends at Absolute Kubota and Rental. Land Pride quality tractor implements, including cutters, finish mowers, box blades, tillers, and more. 5-year gearbox warranty. Extremely durable and well-built. 1325 West Main. Now at traffic, let's check in with Chuck.
Well, good morning. The police are active this morning, no doubt, working a couple of accidents, including that one at Trousdale Drive at Harding Place. It did have some injuries. Starting to pick up pretty good out here on the interstate, pretty much on schedule. I-40 coming in from Wilson County, and also on I-40 leaving Waverly, Camden, coming in from that part of the country, headed towards West Nashville. Hey, celebrate autumn at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest, September 25th through November 1st. All the details, obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
71 degrees all the way.
73 degrees, please.
So, what's your perfect degree of comfort? We'll help you find it with professional Rheem HVAC service that'll keep your home comfy year-round, save on energy costs, and may qualify for utility rebates and tax credits. So enjoy a new degree of comfort.
72 degrees, and I'm good to go.
Financing available through TVA's Energy Right program and your local power company. Call Randy's Heat and Air 237-3604.
Rick Bell, who was appointed to the City Council by fellow developer and former Mayor Philip Craighead, voted to build a $5 million super park at Hamilton Springs, Bell Family Investment Property. He also voted to donate $850,000 to a private school that he taught at for 20 years. This looks like a conflict of interest. Vote Bernie Ash for Mayor of Lebanon. 22 years in elective office and never a hint of a conflict of interest.
This message has been paid for by Bernie Ash.
Lebanon High School football is live this season on WANT and WCOR. Join Tommy Bryan and the crew with all of the action brought to you by Bates Ford, Cedar Recovery of Middle Tennessee, the law firm of Clemens & Clemens, D.T. McCall & Sons, Fakes and Hooker Lumber, Sheriff Robert Bryan, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, and Wilson Bank and Trust. Lebanon High School football Friday night starting with the pregame show at 6:30 on WANT FM 98.9 and WCOR AM 1490.
Vanderbilt Health is honored to announce the newest addition to our family of hospitals, Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital in Lebanon. This hospital will provide care for Wilson County residents with the goal of improving the health and well-being of our newest community. Hospitals are for healing, new life, and recovery. They're places of innovation and learning. At the end of the day, hospitals are all about one thing: community. Thank you for welcoming us into yours. Let's do great things together.
Today's forecast calls for partly cloudy skies with a slight chance of a pop-up shower. Highs this afternoon will top out in the upper 80s. On Wednesday, scattered showers do enter the forecast, so you may want to keep the umbrella handy. Temperatures on Wednesday do look to top out in the 80s. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm meteorologist TJ Scott.
Coleman and Company, welcome to part 2 here on a Tuesday morning. It's time to talk about Hearthside Senior Living with Sean Dozier, Executive Director. Good morning to you.
Feels like a Monday, but
yep,
I'm glad to be here on a Tuesday.
Feels like Monday all day long on Tuesdays when we have a Monday holiday. But we're glad to see you again.
It's great to be here. It's always good to talk about our wonderful community at Hearthside Senior Living. You know, our independent retirement community is going strong. I was listening to your battle scars from all your maintenance going on at your house. I thought, well, our folks don't have to worry about all that.
Well, that's true. You don't. Well, there's a blister on my little finger, blister on my thumb, and then I hit my knuckle on something. Didn't even.
Well, it seems like you're doing a lot of work over there.
Well, doing a little bit. I don't work too hard or too fast.
See, at Hearthside Senior Living, all they have to do, Coleman, is pick up the phone and say, I need you down here. So that's a nice benefit of living at Hearthside Senior Living.
Are you trying to entice me?
I'm trying to. I wish I had some more homes to sell you, Coleman. I would, but
yeah.
we had a lady, actually a couple, come in Friday from Jasper, Tennessee. They have a 6,000 square foot house. They said, look, in a couple of years we're going to downsize, and we're just getting all of our options, looking at all of our options, and so they came to visit us, and they said, you've got a great community, and in a couple of years we want to downsize. We're tired of taking care of a 6,000 square foot house on the lake. And so they enjoyed that tour. I appreciate Margie Andrews. She always gives a great tour of her beautiful home, and we have others that give tours as well. They're willing to do that. Even with the COVID going on, they're still willing to give tours. So I appreciate that. And we've had several tours over the last several weeks in our independent retirement community. And again, we have a waiting list for those homes.
All you can do is get on the waiting
right.
list.
And I told them, look, I'm glad you're looking ahead, because right now we've got a waiting list. But they said, that's fine. Put us on the list because we're very interested. So that's really good. And our assisted living, Coleman, we still going strong there. You know, we still have some rooms available during April and May. You know, we sort of took a hit because we couldn't open the building. So now we're able to open it up a little bit, to give tours and to let people see a room or two. And I think that's going really well. We had a gentleman move in last week. We have a couple coming from a couple of residents coming from skilled facilities in a couple of weeks. So if you're interested in our assisted living, we do have some rooms available. You know, most of the time we don't. So this is a good opportunity to look at our small, medium. We also have one large room available. So you can call us at 615-443-1994. Our website is great, hearthsideliving.org, or you can go to our Facebook page.
How's Betty Kelly doing?
Betty Kelly's doing great. You know, she was out at the Senior Citizens Center on Friday passing out goodies. Teresa and Patty were out there. You know, I think they're still doing it through September. I think the Senior Citizen Center's continuing to be closed, so hopefully in October it'll open. But we were out there. Actually, Betty was out there. I wasn't out there. Betty was out there and passing out goodies. I think maybe Helen came by. Again, you didn't drive up in your car. I think you sent Helen to get your
I
lunch.
got another one of your cards.
Good. Good. Well, that's marketing. You know, we got to do marketing 101. I think we gave away some chocolates, and of course we had to put my card on there. So anyway, that's great, and I appreciate Teresa and Patty letting us come out to do that.
Yeah. Well, it's good publicity.
It is,
and probably a lot of those people are good possibilities for you sometime.
Maybe not now, but in the future. You know, we always like to keep our name out there.
How about a Hearthside hello?
Hearthside hello. My father-in-law, he's listening right now. He turns 85 this week, so I wanted to say happy birthday to Bobby Cox, not the manager for the Atlanta Braves, but Bobby Cox, my father-in-law. He's just a great guy, and has probably saved me. No kidding. Probably $20,000, maybe $30,000, maybe even $50,000 over the year. He was an AC man, so he worked on air conditioners, and so if I ever had a problem, he always always took care of me.
Don't you
took care of his
appreciate that?
daughter?
Don't you appreciate
yeah. So he could fix anything, and he just was wonderful.
Yeah.
He's a wonderful guy.
Well,
happy birthday to Bobby Cox, 85 years old.
Great Hearthside hello this morning. Well, that usually kind of ends it for us. Hope you have a good week.
Hope
here.
you have a great week. It's going to be nice weather, and
Mm-hmm.
enjoy it. And don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself too much.
They're just little bitty battle scars.
Well,
Don't worry about it.
Well, if you're at Hearthside Senior Living, you would not have to worry about battle scars anymore, Coleman.
I'll keep it in mind.
Okay. All right. See y'all later.
All right. That's Sean Dozier, Executive Director for Hearthside Senior Living, 215 Castle Heights Avenue North, right here in Lebanon, Tennessee. We're 21 and a half before the hour, and this is the Tuesday that we normally talk to somebody from the Board of Education, Wilson County Board of Education, and usually it's Dr. Donna Roberts, but today we got Mickey Hall, who is with us, and hadn't seen you in a while, Mickey. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning to you.
It's good to have you here, and hopefully we can find out about school getting started, about COVID, about the new high school that opened up, and I think there's plenty for us to talk about. Plus, you've got a Board of Education meeting tonight.
We do. Dr. Wright's on. She's working with the chamber this morning on the workforce development interview, so that's why she couldn't be with you this morning.
Well,
so
we miss her, but seriously, it's good to see you again. Let's get started here with the start of school. You had there's just more on your plate this year, and that may not be a direct responsibility of yours, but as a deputy director, it certainly involves you. And overall, how has the start of school gone?
Overall, it's been, under these circumstances, it's been a good start to the school year. It's had its, Dr. Duncan used to tell us, not challenges, but opportunities. So we've had several opportunities over the last few weeks to tweak some things and try to make things better for our students and our parents, especially in light of the ones that are on the virtual program. Running the students on the hybrid plan it's been a change, but I think overall the school and the school staff and teachers and everybody have done a really good job being ready for that. We had quite a bit of work happen over the weekend just on our virtual program to be ready for our students and parents today when they come back. So we think those changes will improve that program a lot starting today. So we listened to a lot of concerns and expressions from parents and try to address those as we can get to them.
What may be one or two of the things that was the biggest concern or biggest challenge here?
Well, the biggest challenge we operate under, I think everybody's operating under right now, is just sort of the fear factor. We don't really know what COVID's going to do or when it's going to affect somebody or when, so we have to watch those things and try to stress, more hygiene, especially washing your hands, having a mask on. Things like that is different in the school environment. So we actually bought face shields, especially for our teachers in the younger grades, your K-2 grades, because they're learning a lot of things. They're learning phonics, they're learning reading, they're learning, and teachers like to see how you express yourself. So we have masks available for staff and students if they want those. We have masks that we have available as well if the parents do not want to send one with their children. So we have all those things available. So getting ready this summer to be ready for that was a learning process, but it was also a process of just trying to get your hands on some of these items because
there's I guess you could say to some extent a geographical change, realignment to the west here with the two schools that were damaged by the tornado, the opening of Green Hill High School. Has that gone fairly well?
It has. It's if we didn't have Green Hill High School this year, we would have been in major trouble. But having Green Hill and being able to move the 7th and 8th grade out of Mount Juliet Middle to Green Hill, and then also the 7th and 8th grade out of Mount Juliet Middle to Mount Juliet High School has helped tremendously. We also did rezone all of our high schools in the county. It affected all of our high school zones across the county and the way we shifted kids around for grades 9 through 12. But overall, it's went well. I think having the kids split up sort of 50-50 on those days that you're on one day and I may be on the next day, that helped ease into the start of school. Except for our virtual program, we did have some things there that we needed to tweak, and we worked really hard on those since last Thursday. And then we had several staff that worked over the weekend to be ready for today.
Well, one of the things I have wondered about, and not knowing anything about it at all, but I mean, if you're going to school today but you're not tomorrow, it affects the bus route. Now, maybe it doesn't affect the road the bus travels, but I mean, you get on today, you don't tomorrow. Has that been a difficulty at all, or it's surely been different for the bus driver?
It has been different from the standpoint you don't have a packed bus, but we still have a need for bus drivers. We had some drivers that did not come back due to concerns with the COVID. If you have someone that's in your household that's medically fragile or something, you don't want to expose them to anything. So we're still wanting drivers. We still need people to apply and be a bus driver for the school district. And if you've got a P&S endorsement on your CDL license, we will gladly hire you in a heartbeat. But we still need drivers, but it has been better, but if your route's down, it's not been better.
Well, the pay is pretty good. You don't have particularly long hours. I mean, it's a while in the morning and a while in the afternoon. It's more a dedication to the time frame than anything else, isn't it?
Well, we start out at $17 an hour and go up, and then if you work 30 hours or more, you get full benefits. So we have over 100 drivers that qualify that way. So they do work more than just a few hours in the morning, a few hours in the afternoon. So, but if they want to, they can call Mr. Jerry Partlow at our transportation office, and they will be gladly to walk them through the process to come to work for us.
Well, I'm sure everybody's not suitable to not fitted, not quality. Well, it's not something everybody wants to do, but it's there's a lot of responsibility there. But still, it's you are a part of education in that you're transporting the students, and if you are a good bus driver, and this is something you would be inclined to do, good pay.
It is, and we would be glad to take anyone that wants to work for us.
All right, so you heard it from Mr. Hall this morning. They need bus drivers. Okay, it is time for us to take a break here. We've got more to talk about with Mickey Hall, Deputy Director of Schools for the Wilson County School System. We'll take a break here on FM 98.9.
And it's 7:44. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Bates Ford and the low price tire guarantee on all tires every day. Up to 30 days after the sale, there'll be any competitor's pricing on the tires they sell. 1673 West Main. Now in traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic's been in pretty decent shape as far as really bad interstate accidents. Working at Wreck Trousdale Drive at Harding Place. Still some traffic here on 65 southbound, making your way down past Briley Parkway. Traffic not too bad on I-40 coming through Dixon County, working your way up past 840. Hey, celebrate autumn at Ober-Gatlinburg during Oktoberfest, September 25th through November 1st. All the details at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome to Hearthside Senior Living, Lebanon's unique senior living community designed for seniors to age in place, all within a safe, comfortable, and Christian environment. Beautiful retirement homes designed for an independent lifestyle with maintenance-free living. Hearthside Senior Living also continues the excellent tradition of assisted living for those seniors who need additional services. Hearthside Senior Living, an independent retirement community and assisted living community, all on one campus in the heart of Lebanon. Call 615-443-1994 for a tour.
The Tennessee Titans are ready for action with a king to run the ball. Derrick Henry, a veteran quarterback to spread it around.
Tannehill throws. There's Dennis Kelly. Touchdown Titans.
A stingy defense. And a hungry head coach in Mike Vrabel. The 2020 Tennessee Titans play every snap here on this Titans radio station.
Your exclusive home for the Titans. Real Country, WANT 98.9.
Coleman & Company, thanks for joining us. Mickey Hall, Deputy Director of Schools, is with us this morning. And we were talking during the break here about the mask. You've got masks and
face shields.
And face shields, yes. But overall, that seems to be working okay from what you said. But there are some who may complain if somebody doesn't have one on, or but you hear that anywhere you go.
Yeah, you have some complaints both ways. I don't want my child to wear a mask, and then you have some that complain because they're wearing a mask. But some folks don't realize that the main reason we're doing that is we don't have there's not an abundance of teachers out there, and teachers have a hard job. So part of the mask processes in place to help protect the teachers, so they're there to teach your child. And some people have lost that focus.
You don't want anybody to get it, but I mean, if a teacher can't be there, you got to have a substitute, and that can get bad.
Yes, sir. So, but we just need our teachers to teach our children, and the mask help that process where we don't expose them.
Well, football has got started, and by the way, Watertown beat Trousdale County, and I think that's 2 years in a row.
Mm-hmm. They had a good crowd. The COVID has done some things for ticket sales at high school sports. So if you're the visiting team, you don't have as many opportunities to buy a ticket now because the home teams are making sure they have a limit on those tickets. So that's been the biggest complaint we've had about football is from visiting teams and the number of limited opportunities they have to buy a ticket.
Well, I know we don't single out anybody if that has this. You hear it word of mouth, perhaps, but as far as our football goes, has it been very good? No, very few positives for COVID.
It has been. Our staff has a good process in place, a good protocol. They do temperature checks and they ask the appropriate questions and they quarantine if they need to and things like that. And if somebody's been exposed, they try to make sure those appropriate quarantines are in place. And we follow the Tennessee Department of Health guidelines in how we're doing and processing COVID cases or exposures. So overall, we've been really good so far. So it's not saying we don't have anybody that has tested positive, but we're following the Tennessee Department of Health guidelines.
Well, just to be fair to everybody here, I mentioned Watertown, and anytime you can beat Trousdale County, whoever you are, it's a good win. But Lebanon and Mount Juliet played, and Mount Juliet won.
That's right.
Again, as has been the case for several years. So we don't leave Mount Juliet out here. Lebanon may be a little bit down this year compared to last, but they got a bunch of sophomores, I understand, who have a lot of talent, just haven't honed that talent yet. And I believe Wilson Central won their game.
You're right.
I forgot who they played, but anyway.
Yeah.
So, 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah, and Green Hill lost too. So
okay.
They had their first home game.
All right, 3-2. But their first year, if they play close, that's almost a moral victory.
It is. They had a good crowd at all the games. From what I heard, I think Mount Juliet and Green Hill all sold their tickets out.
Are you too busy to pay much attention to sports?
No, I mean I keep up with it. Love to have opportunity to go to more of their games, but we keep up with everything in the school district and try to make sure we're recognizing everybody we need to recognize at the appropriate time. So we're very proud of all of our coaches and our teachers and our other staff members that do a tremendous job in how they educate and take care of our kids.
Well, here again, what I'm about to ask is probably not your direct area of expertise, but as far as you mentioned that we're needing bus drivers, you'd hire anybody that wants to work, is qualified, you'd hire them almost in a heartbeat here because you need them. What about teachers and maybe teachers, assistants, and that sort of thing? Are we okay there now?
Well, we're always looking for good, highly qualified teachers. The universities and colleges are not producing as many teachers as they did at one time. Not really sure why on that, but again, we always look for very highly qualified teachers to educate our children in our county. So if anyone has a teaching license and is interested in working for us, we would be happy to let them go to our Human Resources Department's website and apply. And we do have some openings if someone wants to apply there. But we work hard every day to try to get those filled. If we have to go back to, if we do get to go back, which we hope we do, go to traditional, which is 5 days a week, then we will also need some cafeteria workers. We would be short there when we go back to 5 days a week, because it takes a tremendous amount of staff to be able to prepare that much food for 19,000 kids. So we would need that. I got that report from my food service director on Friday, and she said we probably need about 25 or 30 people if we go back to traditional. So we're always in the process of hiring people because today's society is just very mobile. So our website's wcschools.com. Just go to the Human Resources Department and you can learn how to apply for any job we have.
Well, let me bring up the central office. if things changed there, I mean, I'm sure you're practicing social distancing and this sort of thing, but how is it at central office these days?
We do. I mean, we have the protocol when you come in, you take your temperature and you have to answer the questions. And if you answer the questions a certain way, then there's a quarantine period and things like that you have to follow. Or if if you've been exposed, there's things and protocols we have in place per the Tennessee Department of Health's guidelines. So that's been different. The other big change is just the way we do trainings and meetings. Virtual meetings, if you don't like sitting in front of a computer, you're not going to like meetings you have in today's world. But we do all of our principal meetings right now by Zoom. We haven't had a face-to-face meeting with our principals since March. We've been doing that all by Zoom meetings for them. And then all trainings have pretty much sort of been virtual. So we're set up as a training center, so that's limited the amount of trainings that have occurred because it's mainly virtual. So now you go to the room and you're on a camera in front of a computer talking to whoever you're talking to.
Well, something that you are very responsible for, I think, is the money and the expenditure and staying on budget and this sort of thing. We've had some expenses, some expenditures there that were not planned, but has that affected the budget very much? Adversely affected anyway.
No, and part of that is due to our citizens of our county. They're still spending money locally, so our sales tax is still holding its own, and the new raise the new 0.5% has generated additional dollars for our teacher raises. So our teachers did get a raise. We're just a handful of districts where teachers got a raise in the state this year. So we're proud of that they got a good bump in pay. And we're waiting for 2 or 3 months to make sure they get all of it. We gave 75% of it out on their first check, which was August 15th, and then they'll get the rest of it in December after we get a trend going for 3 or 4 months. But if the first month's any indication, we should be okay with the full amount of the raise by Christmas.
As far as the precautions that you've had to spend for masks and so on, has that made any real dent in things?
Not yet, but when we go back to traditional, it could. When you have a split of the kids up on different days, that eliminates a lot of load on your staff. So we may have to watch that when we go back to 5 days a week and everybody's there every day. But the state through TEMA has been really good about masks and some gloves, and then we bought the face shields out of our budget. It cost us about $160,000 to do that. So we're working through that process to get that. But at this time, I would have to say no, it has not adversely affected. If guidelines change and we have to get stricter or do more things, then it could have an impact on our budget at that time. But from the revenue side, I really want to thank the citizens of our county for spending money locally, because that has helped us tremendously stay on track with our budget.
Well, we've got the 2 schools that were damaged by the tornado. We've already talked about how the students that were going there have been the shift that took place and all that, and apparently having Green Hill High School has made it work fairly well from what you're telling
me. It has.
But I'm wondering about the Kenny Martin alluded to this earlier about how with insurance companies sometimes it takes a while. It's just a process you have to go through to get a claim paid. And where are we?
Well, we're closer, obviously, than we were in March, but there's a checklist that certain things go through different levels of an insurance company, and this is not a $10,000 claim. It's going to be a multi-million-dollar claim. So they've been making deposits with us. They just haven't given us the green light on how far they're going to go. We have some things ready to go as soon as we get some answers from the insurance company. As far as
is there more than one insurance company involved here?
No, it's just one. But they have a process they have to go through. You go through, I may have a certain level, then I pass it off to you, and then you have to pass it on to somebody else. And there's a different checklist because of the amount of money involved. But we're hoping to hopefully reach a resolution here. When the tornadoes went through Kansas about 10 or 11 years ago, our consultants did that project out there, and they said it took 7 to 8 months to get an answer. So we're waiting on an answer from the insurance company. We also have claims in with FEMA to help us there if we need it. But our goal is to put the schools back without anything from the county commission.
Okay, we're going to rebuild on both of those locations. Will it be a structure very similar to what was there? Will it be changes? Talk about that if you would.
Well, we sort of have a protocol in place for elementary schools now. We call it sort of an E-design, where you have your gyms and cafeterias in the middle and you have wings on each end. But Stoner Creek's gym is okay. We have to do some floor work in there and some painting. But other than that, it did fairly well. But it's a newer part of the campus, and it was a separate structure. And actually, the news clip you saw on the news of the tornado from Stoner Creek was off the gym. So, but the rest of the school, we feel like needs to be replaced. That's what we're in negotiations with the insurance company right now. It'll be a little different design than what's there now, just for flow of kids in and out of the building. And back then in the mid-'80s, there was not much thought about safety and how things flowed and how things looked in the front office. So we would want to fix some of those things, but that's what we're talking with them about right now. West Wilson would be the same scenario. So the insurance company has cleared us to replace our bus shop or redo our bus shop. It's complete, and we're working out of there now. They're about to complete the athletic fields. They've approved for that. They approved fixing all of our buses, so all those buses are back on the road. We had about 45 of those damaged during the tornado, and then the rest of it's just a process to go through and get different kind of consultants coming in and engineers from structural, electrical, mechanical, and then you have environmental issues when a building's opened up like that and gets that wet and that contaminated. So there's a lot of discussions and things going on from both sides to make sure we're where we need.
It ain't over yet.
No, and everybody's doing their part. I know the public's a little impatient with us right now, and we are too. We would hope to have already been working on that, but hopefully this month we'll have reached some kind of conclusion on that.
Okay. All right. We've about come to the end of our time here. Mickey, thank you. Thank you so much for coming out. I think we've covered quite a bit of territory this morning, and it does sound like that under the circumstances that school is off to a good start, and appreciate the good report.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Right. Mickey Hall, Deputy Director of Schools for the Wilson County School System, Wilson County Board of Education, and that is it for a Tuesday. Hope you'll join us tomorrow for the Wednesday edition. Till then, I wish you a terrific day.